All right, let's dive into it.
Judiciary Committee and a key Trump ally. Nice to see you in person. Thank you for being here. Let's start with that claim. It's not common, as you know, to do what he did with those inspectors general. The law says that 30 days before a president fires an inspector general, which of course is an internal watchdog for government agencies, he must tell Congress, tell you why. That didn't happen. He broke the law.
Yeah, I think, he should have done that. But
So keep that in mind. You have to give him 30-day notice. He didn't give him 30-day notice, and that's a huge part of this equation.
the question is it okay for him to put people in place that he thinks can carry out his agenda? Yeah. He won the election. What do you expect him to do? Just leave everybody in place in Washington before he got elected? This makes perfect sense to me. Get new people. He feels like the government hasn't worked very well for the American people. These watchdog folks did a pretty lousy job. He wants some new eyes on Washington, and that makes sense to me.
Even and especially it's one thing for sort of run-of-the-mill police.
So he says he shouldn't have done the thing regarding the 30-day notice. If he wants to hire loyalists, whatever, he's the president. Sure, I guess. But he didn't. He did say that he shouldn't have fired them without 30-day notice.
Nominee. That happens, Democrat, Republican, that is the prerogative of the president. And it is on the inspector general also. But the inspector general, as I said, this is supposed to be the person who keeps watch on things.
Well, who is the keep watch on what? He wants to put people in place, including inspector generals, that can implement his agenda. Juan Pete Hexbeth. A lot of people believe on my side and the public in general, in the last 4 years, the military was too weak and too woke, and Pete's going to fix that. That's why he picked Pete. He thought the military was too weak, too woke, and Pete's going to fix it. That's why he chose Pete. So that's just the way it goes when you win an election.
Okay, I want to move on to...
He has such
President Trump
surface level answers. Oh, he doesn't want to say what he truly... You could tell he's holding back. That's why he's ending it with, he won the election, so what are you going to do? He does not want to piss off Trump. You could tell. You could tell.
People convicted of assaulting police in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol put a lot of lives in danger, including yours. I want you to just look at one example. I think this is important. Michael Fanone, he was a D.C. police officer. He was off that day, but he came in because he knew the officers needed help to protect the U.S. Capitol, to protect you and your colleagues. He was tased. He was beaten to the point he had a heart attack. He was threatened with being shot with his own gun. He had to scream back at them, "I have kids." Now, the man who tased him, who was convicted of doing that, Daniel Rodriguez, he was sentenced in 2023 to 12 years in prison. On Monday, he was among those who got a full pardon. Are you okay with that?
No, I've always said that I think when you pardon people who attack police officers, you're sending the wrong signal to the public at large.
Okay, we got a little point of disagreement here.
Biden pardoned a guy that shot two FBI agents in South Dakota. The FBI was all upset about that. He pardoned.
Oh, he's doing the whataboutism to not piss off MAGA. Okay, that's the strategy. That's the strategy. That's the strategy. Okay.
Half his family when he said he wouldn't. President Trump at least said, "I'm going to do this." I don't like this. I don't like it on either side, and I think the public doesn't like it either. So if this continues, if this is the norm, there may be an effort to rein in the pardon power of the president as an institution.
Have you talked to the president about this?
No,
Did you tell him that you're opposed to what he did?
We've had this debate. I'm all in for him. I want him to win. I think pardoning people who beat up cops, pardoning people who killed two FBI agents like Biden did, trying to raise bail for rioters in Minneapolis like Kamala Harris did, all send the wrong signal. So that's where I'm at. But he did it. Biden did it, and I think
he's trying so hard to not piss off Trump, but also say the right things. Politics is such a weird media in general, right? It's such a weird thing where you have to say things in a very particular way to adhere to certain people's ego, to not piss off your donors, to not piss off your supporters. Oh my goodness, you guys are shills.
Most Americans don't like it.
Okay, I get what you're saying about the FBI agents, and he did that on his last day. But this is different. This is about
the family of the FBI agents.
This is just. Well, I want to ask you about just the ramifications in your own words, because you have said that having a pardon of somebody who took the law into their own hands will make violence more likely.
Yeah.
So I do want to look forward on this question, which is if somebody was pardoned and believes, pardon me?
You own it.
Well, you own it, and they believe that they can do what they want if they do it in the president's name. Isn't that encouraging dangerous lawlessness?
When Kamala Harris wanted to go on...
Let's stay on Donald Trump.
Let's talk about the problem. The problem is...
He tried to do another whataboutism. You already know how it'd be. Come on.
She tried to raise money, called them freedom fighters who burned down Minneapolis. They tried to burn down the Portland courthouse.
I'm asking you about this thing that
I know you just want to talk about Trump. But I see it as a bigger problem. Yes, I've said clearly, I do not like it when President Trump pardoned people who beat up cops. But I didn't like it when Biden pardoned all of his family going out the door. I didn't like it when Kamala Harris tried to raise bail money for people who beat up cops and shot them in the head. I don't like any of this.
What you said, he's going to own it.
All of them are going to own it.
Because there are people who testified, law enforcement who testified in these trials, prosecutors who are worried for their safety.
Well, the public was told by Trump what he would do, and he did it. So you can't say he lied to anybody. Biden said he wasn't going to pardon his family, and he did. Whether you like Trump or not, he said this is what I'm going to do.
He says he wants to invite some of these pardoned individuals to the White House? Do you think he should do that?
I'll leave that up to him. But I've been as clear as I
Shut
can
the
about what I think.
chill. Such a
one last
little
question on this.
bit,
Two
yo.
of the
Yo,
Oakland
these Republican government officials, they're just fucking. They honestly, they should just bend over and let Donald Trump screw them. I'm be honest, like might as well, because you're so scared of pissing off Donald Trump. You guys are little cowards. Oh my goodness, this dude's such a coward.
militia. He had an 18-year sentence on seditious conspiracy conviction. That was commuted. He was at President Trump's speech last night in Las Vegas.
I don't think there's a restriction on him being there. I don't like this. You know, we had a guy that was on death row that Biden gave a life sentence that walked into Maine.
What about Biden? Gotta make it about Biden.
I don't like any of this. I think most Americans would like the president used.
And of course, I guarantee you it's a mischaracterization of how what Biden did. I guarantee it is. But you have to make it as close as possible. So you have to make sure that, I just have good moral character. I just dislike this, but Donald Trump could do what he do. That's why I said the same thing about Biden. So it's not about you, Trump. It's just about the principle. But you're still president, though, so you could do what you got to do. I still support you. You're my daddy. Big Daddy Trump. You can do what you want. That's the energy I'm getting. That's the energy I'm getting.
Power in a way to send the right signals, not the wrong.
But you might have to revisit it if he does more of this.
He has the authority to do it. Now, should we as a nation, given what's happened with all these folks, look at it? If you got an idea about how to rein in the pardon power of the president that goes too far, give me a call.
President Trump revoked the security detail of the former Secretary of State serving under him, Mike Pompeo, his former National Security Advisor, John Bolton.
I wonder why he took this
has
interview in the first
both of
place.
them
If he wasn't going to
facing security threats because they were in charge of
be
an
honest.
operation to take out Soleimani in Iran, an operation carried out under Trump.
Right.
Should Trump have revoked that security?
I talked to Senator Cotton about this. He's the chairman of the Intel Committees. Very, very good man. He said he had a briefing and he asked the briefers, if it were you or your family, would you think you deserve a detail? And they said yes. Whether you like John Bolton or not, that's not the question for me, is that you don't want to leave people hanging. There's no doubt in my mind the Iranians have been out to kill President Trump. I've been briefed about it. I know he's been briefed about it. I'm glad he has protection. Whether you like Bolton or anybody else, we need to make sure that if you serve in our government and you take on foreign power at the request of the administration, that we do not leave you
So they
hanging.
should get the security back?
Yeah, I think we need the Senate needs to look at what happened and sit down and figure out what's the best way forward. Everybody doesn't deserve a detail all their life. It needs to be as needed. But what Senator Cotton told me, the threats seem to be real against these individuals, and I don't want to leave them hanging. It makes it hard to recruit people in the future.
Oh, there we go.
Something happened to these people, and President Trump needs to think about getting people to serve in the future, owning that decision.
So it was, just to put a finer point on it, it was a mistake.
Yeah, if the intel is what Senator Cotton said, I think we should keep the details.
We've been talking
Okay.
about
Well, that's an
issues,
answer.
that
That's an answer. I'll
Donald
give you
Trump
that.
He said it's his prerogative. He's done a lot of things with the stroke of a pen. The issue that voters said that they were most interested in him doing is dealing with the crisis of affordability.
Right.
And we have not seen any substantial action on that. People are now paying $7 for a dozen eggs. It's a record level, 37% higher.
'Cause of
than
bird
a year
flu.
ago. Are his priorities in the right place now?
I was pretty involved in the last campaign. For every time he talked about eggs, he talked about illegal immigration 1,000 times. I think he's trying to fulfill his promise to regain control of an out-of-control illegal immigration system. We need more money for Tom Homan. I'm for deporting illegal immigrants here who are criminals. Most people are. The public's with him. But if you don't get new money into the system, Tom Homan can't do his job. We need more bed space. We need to finish the wall. But I think the signature issue for Donald Trump was to get a handle on illegal immigration, and he's off to a good start. We just need to help him in Congress.
So that's a smart political strategy. Move away from the thing that people actually care about most is not immigration. It is affordability, but make it seem like it's immigration. Very smart strategy. Okay. Politic and your
Immigration certainly
politics.
he talked about that nonstop. You're absolutely right.
and he won.
In a New York Times poll after he was inaugurated, 29% of the people who say they supported him say it was to deal with the economy and inflation.
I think the majority
is
of the
way
people
higher
in
than
that
everybody.
poll say they support deporting everybody that came to the country legally in the 4 years of Biden. Like 70%, almost 80% support deporting illegal immigrants who have committed crime. The public is with him on this. And if y'all don't get this by now, you missed the entire campaign. But I'll leave that up to people here in Washington. I get it. I understand what he's trying to do.
Senator, can you elaborate
Yeah,
on what you were saying
he's your
about
daddy.
Yeah, I think this whole debate in the Republican Party.
Do you
is
lube
moving
up?
to- Right now, Tom Holman needs more money to hire ICE agents. He needs more money to finish the wall, to increase bed space. He doesn't have the tools necessary to carry out this plan that President Trump gave him until Congress appropriates more money. So to my Republican colleagues, we've hit a wall here. We're not building a wall. We've hit.
Oh, okay. So not only are you not going to help with the cost of living and prices, but you also want more money in the government. Very based. Very based. Love to see it. Love to see it. Shout out money in government.
Hit a wall. We need to appropriate money to Tom Holman so he can do what President Trump promised. And if we delay, the taxes expire in December. We've got plenty of time to deal with that. I worry that we're going to own another attack on our country. I worry that we're delaying this plan that President Trump ran
Do you
on.
worry
Congress
that
doesn't
there's
give
going to be an
his
attack on the
administration, Tom Holman, the money
country?
to do the plan that he promised, that President Trump promised. We need to come together quickly on this, in my view.
I want to ask about the Middle East.
Yeah.
Hamas on Saturday handed over 4 female Israeli hostages. They've been captive in Gaza for 15 months. Israel released 200 Palestinian prisoners. You've been very involved in this issue, Senator. Last night, when talking about Palestinians who live in Gaza, President Trump said he wants to, quote, clean that whole thing out. What does that mean?
You know, I really don't know. I do know this, that Hamas needs to go. All these guys with masks on and guns, they're scum, and I hope they're dead men walking. What they did to those 4 young ladies, parade them in front of the Palestinian community and put them on the world stage, was disgusting. My heart breaks for what they've gone through. So the idea Hamas survives is a non-starter for me. But the idea that all the Palestinians are going to leave and go somewhere else, I don't see that to be overly practical. I don't know what he's talking about, but go talk to MBS, go talk to UAE, go talk to Egypt. What is their plan for the Palestinians? Do they want them all to
So you don't know what your president is talking about, and then you blame the other countries. Interesting. Interesting.
You've been going there. What is the plan?
Well, I think they want the Palestinians to be able to live with dignity and security for Israel.
But you got to get rid of Hamas first.
You can't do this without getting rid of Hamas. You're dead right. Hamas is the problem for the world, not just the Palestinians. But the question you asked is a good one. Does the Arab world support sending all the Palestinians out of Gaza? I'd be surprised if they did.
I want to turn to a moment this weekend that really had a lot of people wondering what is really going on and what Donald Trump really supports when it comes to elections in Europe. Elon Musk made a special video appearance at a campaign event Saturday for the far-right Alternative for Germany party. He reiterated his support for them ahead of next month's elections. And then he told the crowd the following: I think there's, frankly, too much of a focus on the past guilt, and we need to move beyond that. People who, children who should not be guilty of the sins of their parents, or even let alone their parents or their great-grandparents, maybe even. And then he said, you have my full support. I think the Trump administration is also supportive. 2 things. What do you think about him telling Germany to move past
Well, number one, is Elon Musk, a Nazi? I don't think so. I don't believe that at all. Bibi came to his aid. But what he said does bother me in this regard. Tomorrow is the 80th anniversary of liberating Auschwitz. I was just there a few months ago. I don't expect the Germans to be racked with collective guilt all their lives, but I do hope in German schools they educate the German children about what happened in Germany. I hope in our schools that we'll educate people the Holocaust deniers are full of crap. I'm worried that we're losing 80 years on, that we're...
You know what's interesting? He says that, right? He says that, and I don't disagree. I'm going to be very clear. But I wonder if he feels the same thing in terms of slavery. Because I know a growing sentiment in terms of the right is leaving slavery outside the history books. I don't know what he believes. I'm just posing that question. But I agree. I think the Holocaust, I think slavery, these bits of information are necessary to contextualize the growth of humanity. But I was just curious.
Rewriting history here. The Holocaust was one of the darkest moments in the history of mankind. There are 15 million Jews on the planet because every generation seems to want to go after the Jewish people.
I have this on 1.5 speed, and I feel like
he's
he's still talking slow.
Facing the 80th anniversary of the Auschwitz liberation, the death camp, is to be equivocal. I want every German child, every American child to know what happened and that it's true, not a lie, and we never do it again.
Before I let you go, Tulsi Gabbard, you met with her. She's going to have a hearing to be the Director of National Intelligence.